Well, let's continue with number 11. So in the figure, AC is 20 centimeter, CD is 22 centimeter, and AE is 16 centimeter. Find the length of BD. As we see in the figure, you will notice that this is actually one triangle with a base of 20 and then the other side as 22, and then the 16 will be from point A to point E, that is 16. So our question is point BD here, BD. This BD is our question. So how do we get that? How can we get this BD? We will use area to help us. We know that the area of this triangle, you know that you had a base of 20, but you don't have the height, right? Which is actually the things that we are going to find out. So instead of using this base and height, we will use another base and height. If you notice from the question, there is a perpendicular here, which means 20 and 16 will be our base and our height. So I will use 22 as the base, times height. The height is 16 divided by 2, and then it will give me 11 times 16, 176. So 176 will be the area of this triangle. The area of the triangle do not change. I just want to change the way I see it. Instead of using 22 as a base, now I will use 20 as a base. So the same formula, area will be base times height divided by 2. So the area is 176 equal to the base is 20. So it will be 20 times the height is the one that we are looking for, divided by 2. Then we will cross multiplication. It will be 352 equals to 20 times height. The height will be 352 divided by 20. 17.6. 17.6 will be our BD. Okay, number 11 done. This is 11 anyway. If you want to write it down, next will be number 12. Let's go with number 12. Let's read the question first. Number 12. Oh, there will be two questions here. One, find the area of a surface of a circular pond that has a diameter of 12 meters. And then the second one, the pond is surrounded by a path of width 2 meters. If it costs $55 per meter square to pave the path with tiles, find the costs incurred. Okay, number 12. So it says for the first one, I will just move it, write the one there later. So we know that we had a pond. The pond is a circular pond. The diameter of the pond is 12 meters, right? So what is the area of the pond? So the one is the area. Area is pi r square, which is because the diameter is 12 and the radius will be 6, I will use 3.14. 3.14 14 times 6 square. 6 square is 36, and then we will count this. 3.14 times 36. 113.04. 113.04. This is the area of the pond. Now, in question number 2, it says that the pond is surrounded by a path, and the width of the path is 2. So this is 2 meters. which means this big circle will add another 2 in here and another 2 in here. If this, I will just assume that this is the shaded part, and then what we are looking for now is the area of the shaded part, right? And then after that, the area of the shaded part, 1 meter square will cost $55, and then we can just times the money later on. But how can we find the area of this path, the area of the path? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minus I'm going to subtract the small pond, the pond itself, or the small circle from the big circle. So we will need to find the big circle, which is pi r square, and then later on we will minus, because we have found the small circle, we don't have to do it again, 113.04. So we still use 3.14. Since it is 6, the radius plus 2 will be 8. So it's not divisible by 7, will be 8 times 8 will be 64. And then minus 113.04. It will give us, if we use our calculator, 3.14 times 64 will be, this will be times, so that you understand that that is not point. 3.14 times 64 will be 200.96, and then you minus with 113.04, you will have 87.92. So the cost is 87.92 times 55. So this number will be times by 55, and then you will get $4,835.6. That will be our cost for the path of the tiles. That's number 12. Let's move on with number 13. Let's see the question in number 13. A figure is made up of a triangle ABD and a semicircle BOD. Is the diameter, a figure is made up of a triangle ABD and a semicircle. BOD is the diameter of the semicircle with a center O. If AB equals to AD, which is 5.7 centimeter, BD is 7 centimeter, and AOC is 8 centimeter, find 1 the perimeter and 2 the area of the figure. Let's solve this one out. This is our 13. So I will have a semicircle with a triangle. The triangle had the same, so this is an isosceles triangle with 5.7. Then I will have 7 here. I will just write it like this. This will be the diameter of the circle. And then from this point all the way to this point is 8. So let's go with the first one, the perimeter. How do we find the perimeter of this figure? Simple. Let's start this point. We will plus 5.7. plus this half circle plus 5.7. So 5.7 plus 5.7, we know that 11.4 plus half of the semicircle. We know that the diameter is 7, so we use 20 to 7 times 7, pi times d is the perimeter, and then you divide it by 2. You divide it by 2, right? So when you cross it, it will be 22. 22 divided by 2 will be 11. So 11.4 plus 11 will give us 22.4. That's what I mean. 22.4, that is the perimeter of this figure. Let's move on with the area. The area of the figure. You will add up the semicircle and the triangle. If you see from the picture, you might think that, oh, the base is 5.7 and then the height will be 5.7. Well, that's not the case here, because it doesn't give you the perpendicular here, so you cannot say that. So what we are going to do is we will use this as a height of the triangle, and then this will be the base of the triangle. So it will be area of the triangle plus the area of the semicircle. What is the area of the triangle? The diameter is 7, so we had this radius as 3.5, right? If the radius is 3.5, that means the height of the triangle will be the rest of it, which is 4.5. So the area of the triangle will be 4.5 times 7 divided by 2. That will be our area of triangle. And then our area of semicircle is pi, which is 22/7, times r square. The diameter is 7, so the r is 3.5. So we will write 3.5 times 3.5. The final result will be divided by 2. Can we count this? Yes, of course. 7 divided by 2, 3.5. So 4.5 times 3.5. You will cross this with 2. This will become 11 plus 11 times 3.5 will be 38.5. This will be divided by 2. You count this manually, or if you use calculator, it will gives you 4.5 times 3.5, 15.15. This is 15, I'm sorry, let me write it neatly for you. 15.75 plus 38.5 divided by 2, 19.25. What a nice number. We had 35 as the result. So the area of the figure is 35. That will be number 13. Let's move on. Next number will be, well, let's read the question for number 14. BOD is the diameter of the semicircle with center O. OD is the diameter of the smaller semicircle. A, B, and CE are arcs of two quadrants with different radius. If OD equal to 10 centimeter and AE equals to BC equals 3 centimeter, find the perimeter to the area of the shaded region. Basically, what we are going to find is the area of the shaded region. This is the shaded region. I do not shade it for you to reduce the confusion. So the book tells us that these 2 points are 3, and then the radius of the big circle is 10. The first thing that we are going to find out is the perimeter. How do we find the perimeter? Let's start with this point. We will add the first line, which is 7 plus half of a circle. Pi times d, the diameter will be, the diameter of this circle will be 10. So we use 3.14 times 10 divided by 2. And then we will use the big circle plus 3.14 as well, because the radius is 10, so the diameter will be 20. 3.14 times 20 divided by 2. And then we will take the quadrant. The quadrant will have the same diameter, which is the big. If we assume this is the circle, we will use the big circle. So 3.14 times 20 divided by 4 this time. And then after that, we will add the 3. And then plus the last one is the small quadrant will be, this is the radius is 7, right? So it will be 14. Assume that we had a circle here. So the circle will have 14 diameter, which will give us, for this one I will use 22/7 since the diameter is 14. So 22/7 times 14 divided by 4. Well, let's count all of this. So we will have 7 plus, this will be 15.7 plus 31.4 plus 15.7 plus 3 plus, if you count this 7 and 14, it will leave me to 11. So it will be 11 here. Okay, then we will add this up. 11, usually I will just count the non-decimal first, so it will give me 21 plus, then I will count the decimals, which is 15.7, 15.7, 31.4, give me 62.8, so 83.8. This will be the perimeter of the figure in number 14. Let's go to the area. So for the area, it will be quite tricky. The first thing that you have to find is the area of this big circle, right? So we will use the area of the the big semicircle, radius of 10. So 3.14 times 10 times 10 divided by 2. That will be the big one. And then now we go to the small one. The radius is 5. So we use 3.14 as well. Times 5 times 5 divided by 2. That is the small one. Now we will need this quadrant, right? What I'm going to do is I will assume that I only have a quarter circle here. So with this quarter circle, I will just count the big quarter circle, and then I will minus the small quarter circle. So it will leave me with this quadrant, the small quadrant part. Okay, so what I will do is, I will find the big quarter circle. The quarter circle has a radius of 10, so I will plus this part we will need to count it twice. The first thing that we count is 3.14 times 10 times 10 divided by 4. This is the big quarter circle. And then now we will count the small quarter circle. The small quarter circle has a radius of 7. So minus, this time we will use 22/7 times 7 times 7 divided by 4. Okay, then we will use calculator to help us, but actually there are some numbers that's quite easy to be counted, such as this number. It is 314 divided by 2, so it will give us 157. And then this number, let's just use calculator, 3.14 times 25, and then you divide that with 2, will give you 39.25, plus this you will have to count this first. So we have 314 divided by 4, 78.5, but you have to take away the small part. So it is 154 divided by 4, 38.5. Then 157, 39.25 plus, when you minus it, it will give you 40. At the end, you will have 197, 236.25. This will be the area of figures in number 14. 236.25. That is the area of the shaded region. That's about number 14. Let's move on to number 15. Number 15. We will read the question first. In the figure, ABCD is a square of sides 10 meter and BCD is a semicircle. BCD is a semicircle of diameter square root of 200 meter. Find 1, the perimeter, 2, the area of the shaded region. Well, so we have this. I'm trying to draw the square as best as I can. Well, it tells us that this is square root of 200. The square itself is 10. 1, the perimeter of the shaded region. The perimeter will be this. So since this two part is the shaded region, let's say that I want to run around the field. So what I will do is I will start from this line, go down, go up, and then go half of the circle. So we are going to do that since it's 10 for the square. So that means this two straight line will be 10 plus 10 will be 20 plus this half of a circle. We know we have this square root of 200, so we are going to use that as a diameter, which means pi times square root of 200 divided by 2. It will give us 20 plus, if you count this without calculator, it will be 10 square root of 2 pi divided by 2. So it will be 20 plus 5 square root of 2 times pi. Then when you count it, it will be 5 square root of 2 times pi 22 22.2, and then you plus this will be 20 plus 22.2. So 22.2 plus 20 will be 42.2. That will be the perimeter of the shaded region. Now let's go with the area. Now let's talk about the area. What we've known so far is the square has a side of 10 and the diameter of the semicircle is square root of 200. So to find the area, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of the semicircle, and then I'm going to minus this triangle in the middle, right? So how to find the area of the semicircle? Pi r square divided by 2, and then you will minus the triangle itself. The triangle has a base and a height of 10 each, so it will be 10 and 10, so the base and the height will be 10. So 10 times 10 divided by 2 will give us some number. Let's try it. Let's leave this as pi, and then the r square. The diameter is square root of 200, which means 10 square root of 2. And then because r is half of it, so we will have 5 square root of 2 square divided by 2, and then minus, this will be 50. Okay, so leave it as a pi still. So this 5 square root of 2 square will give us 5 times 5, 25 times 2, 50 divided by 2, and then minus 50. So when you divide 50 and 2, you will have 25, so you will have 25 pi minus 50. Then this is where you will use pi as 3.14. But we are going to try to count that using calculator. 25 pi minus 50 will give us 28.5. So the final answer will be 28.5. That will be the area of the figure in number 15. Let's move on to number 16. 2 more to go. We have 16 and 17 left. Let's check on number 16. In the figure, two identical circles with center at A and B respectively have an area of 0.785 centimeters squared each. So this is the area of the circle. If A is directly above D, find the area of the shaded region. So there will be two identical circles which touch each other. So we'll try my best. And then this is point A, this is point B. I had a circle, I had a triangle like this, and like this. Okay, this will be my triangle. So how do you find the area of the shaded region? Oh, it's pretty simple. This will be the base, this will be the height. If you notice, the height of the triangle will be the same with the radius of the circle, while the base is actually twice the radius or the diameter actually. You see, this is half and then this is another half, so the base will be the diameter. We know that the height is the radius and the base is the diameter, so we need that number to be able to find the area of the shaded region, which we'll use formula of triangle. So how do you get the radius or the diameter? You will use the information given to you. 0.785 is the area of the circle, right? So what you will do is the area of the circle equals to pi r squared. So you will find the r. R will be 0.785 divided by pi. .785. You will use 3.14. If you use 3.14 as the pi, you will get 0.25. This is r squared. So what number times what number will become 0.25, or r will be the square root of 0.25. You will get it as 0.5. The r is 0.5. Now you know the height of the triangle is 0.5, while the base is twice the radius, right? So the base is 1. Then you can get the area. This is the area of the shaded region, which is the triangle will be base times height divided by 2. The base will be 1, the height will be 0.5, divided by 2, and then you will get 0.25. That's how you get the area of the shaded region in number 16. Let's go to our final number, which is number 17. Let's read the question. A goat tethered by a rope 1.5 meter long is able to eat a square meter of grass in 14 minutes. Find the time it needs to eat all the grass within its reach. So you have to understand, it means that there is something like, you know, like maybe a tree, maybe something in the middle, and then it has a rope at most 1.5, and then there will be a goat here. You know, by this rope, the goat can only move like a circle around the tree with the diameter, the radius of 1.5. Okay, so it will be 1.5 around. Therefore, we will have a circle with 1.5 as our radius. The goat can eat a square meter of grass within 14 minutes. So we just have to find out. Let's say that the grass in this part, the part that the goat can eat, is 2 meters square. The goat can finish all the grass within 28 minutes, right? If it's 3 meters square, so it will be the number of the meter, the number of the area times 14 minutes, right? So we need to know how big is the area that the goat can cover. So it's the same like finding the area of the circle. The area of the circle will be pi. The r will be 1.5. I'm sorry, this I will change it into times 1.5. You will use the pi as 3.14 times 1.5 times 1.5. So we will count that, 3.14 times 1.5 square, you will get 7.065. 7.065, so you can assume it like 7, or if you want, 7.065 is the area of the area that the goat can cover, right? So what is the time required for the goat? We recall, if it's 2 meters square, you will times the 2 with 14. So in this case, you will times 7.065 times 14 minutes. Then you will get 798 minutes, but since I had more, so what I will do is 99 minutes. Because when you count this and this, you shouldn't write 98 because 98 means only 7 meters square. However, it is more than 7 meters. So if you count correctly, you will get 98.91 meters square at 98.91 minutes. So I will just round it up, become 99 minutes. So that's how you get the answer for number 17. Well, I do hope that this helps you. I'll see you in the next video.